Have you ever found yourself in a moment so dark that it felt like the light in your life had completely vanished? I know that feeling all too well. A few years ago, I hit what I can only describe as rock bottom. I'd lost my father, someone who had been my anchor, and shortly after, my relationship fell apart. I'd wake up each morning with this crushing weight on my chest, a grief so heavy I could barely breathe. I'd sit in my apartment staring at the walls, wondering if life would ever feel meaningful again. The pain was relentless, and I couldn't see a way out. If you're watching this, I'm guessing you've been there too. Those moments where the darkness feels so overwhelming that you question if there's any purpose to it all. It's a place none of us want to be, but it's also a place many of us will face at some point. In those moments, it's easy to feel like the pain is meaningless, like it's a cruel twist of fate with no purpose. But what if that darkness isn't the end of your story? What if it's the beginning of something profound? That's what brought me to Carl Jung, a thinker who saw life's darkest moments not as dead ends, but as doorways to meaning. Jung believed that our deepest pain is a call from our unconscious, a signal to look within and discover a deeper truth about ourselves. He introduced a concept called the shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves we've buried, like our fears, our shame, the emotions we don't want to face. During that time of loss, I realized my shadow was full of things I'd been avoiding for years. The fear of being alone, the guilt of not being there more for my father, the anger at myself for letting my relationship crumble. Jung would say that when we're in our darkest moments, these shadow parts rise to the surface, demanding to be seen. It's why the pain can feel so intense, so all-consuming, because your unconscious is trying to show you something. I remember sitting by my father's old armchair one evening, holding a photo of us, tears streaming down my face. I felt like I'd failed him, like I'd failed myself. The darkness was suffocating, and I kept asking, why does this hurt so much? What's the point of all this suffering? Maybe you've asked yourself similar questions, feeling like your pain is a void with no meaning, a sign that life has turned its back on you. But Jung would say that pain isn't a void. It's a doorway, a portal to something greater. It's like Neo in the Matrix, trapped in a world he thought was real, until his struggles forced him to wake up to a deeper truth. Life's darkest moments can be like that, a painful awakening, pushing you to see beyond the surface of your suffering. Jung called this journey individuation, the process of becoming your truest self, fully connected to your deepest purpose. He believed that our pain, when we face it with courage, can lead us to find meaning in ways we never thought possible. So, what does that meaning look like? How can your darkest moments become a source of light? Let's explore that together. When I first started diving into Carl Jung's ideas, I was desperate for anything that could help me make sense of my pain. I was in the depths of my grief, feeling like life had lost all meaning, and all I wanted was a way to feel whole again. But what I found was so much more, a way to see my darkest moments not as a curse, but as a gift. Jung taught me that when we embrace our pain, we can find meaning that transforms our lives, connecting us to a deeper sense of purpose and spiritual awakening. The benefits of this journey are profound, not just for healing our wounds, but for illuminating the path we were always meant to walk. One of the first things Jung showed me was the importance of facing my shadow, the parts of myself I'd hidden because they were too painful to confront. In my grief, I realized I'd been burying so much. The guilt of not being there more for my father, the fear that I'd never find happiness again, the anger at myself for letting my life fall apart. Jung said that when we integrate these shadow parts, we find a kind of freedom that allows us to discover meaning. For me, that meant sitting with those feelings instead of running from them. I started writing in a journal, pouring out my guilt, my fear, even the rage I'd kept locked away. And slowly, I felt a shift. It was like I was uncovering a hidden part of myself. And in that uncovering, I found a new perspective. I realized my pain wasn't meaningless. It was teaching me about love, about resilience, about what truly matters. Jung would say that's what happens when you face your shadow. You start to see your pain as a teacher, guiding you toward a deeper truth. Jung called this process individuation, the journey to become your truest self. When you find meaning in your darkest moments, you're not just surviving, you're awakening to a deeper connection with your purpose. I felt this shift one evening as I was walking through a park near my home. I'd been in such a dark place, but that night, as the stars came out, I felt this quiet sense of clarity. I realized that losing my father and my relationship, though painful, had taught me how to cherish the people I love, how to value the time I have. My pain had given me a new lens to see life through, a lens of gratitude and depth. Jung would say, that's what happens when you embrace your pain. You stop living on the surface and start living from the depths of your being, fully aligned with your true self. Another beautiful thing Jung talked about is synchronicity, the idea that when you find meaning in your pain, the universe starts to support you in unexpected ways. After I began this journey, I noticed this in my life. I'd meet people who seemed to understand my grief, friends who encouraged me to keep going, even opportunities that felt like they were meant to be, like a support group I found just when I needed it most. It was like the world was reflecting my inner growth back to me. I think of Santiago in The Alchemist, who followed his heart through hardship and found the universe conspiring to help him. Finding meaning in your darkest moments can feel like that, a journey where every step brings you closer to a life of purpose. For me, one of the greatest benefits was discovering a sense of peace I'd never known. I'd always been searching for meaning in achievements, success, recognition, a perfect life. But as I embraced my pain, I realized meaning isn't out there, it's within. I started spending time in nature, sitting by that park, reflecting on what my father's life had taught me. I felt this deep connection to something greater, a peace that carried me through my days. Jung would say, that's what finding meaning does. It helps you find a peace that transcends your circumstances, a peace that comes from living in alignment with your soul. Imagine what that could look like for you. What if your darkest moments could lead you to a life where you feel truly connected, truly alive? That's the gift Jung offers, a way to turn your suffering into a path of meaning. It's not always easy, but it's worth every step. And the best part? There are practical ways to start this journey, steps you can take today to find that meaning. Let's dive into those next. Now that we've seen how life's darkest moments can lead to profound meaning, let's talk about how to make that journey real in your life. Carl Jung's teachings offer us practical steps to find meaning in our pain, and I've found these steps to be incredibly powerful in my own life. They helped me move from a place of grief to a place of purpose. and I believe they can do the same for you. The first step Jung would encourage is to face your shadow, the hidden parts of yourself that your pain is bringing to the surface. This means looking at the emotions you've been avoiding, like the fear of failure or the guilt of past mistakes. For me, this looked like sitting down with a journal and writing about my deepest feelings. I asked myself, what is this pain trying to show me? I wrote about my guilt over not being there more for my father, my fear that I'd never find happiness again, even the anger I felt at myself for letting my relationship fail. At first it was hard. Those emotions were raw and I wanted to push them away. But as I wrote, I felt a clarity I hadn't known before. It was like I was meeting a part of myself I'd ignored for years, and that meeting brought a strange kind of peace. Try this yourself. Take 10 minutes each day to journal about your pain. Ask, what am I feeling right now? Or, what is this pain teaching me? Don't judge what comes up, just let it be. Jung believed that by facing your shadow, you begin to uncover the meaning hidden within your suffering, the lessons your unconscious is trying to teach you. The next step is to listen to your unconscious, which Jung saw as a source of deep wisdom. Your unconscious speaks to you through dreams, intuition, and quiet moments of insight, often revealing the meaning behind your pain. I started keeping a dream journal during my time of grief, writing down every detail I could remember each morning. One night, I dreamt of a dark cave with a glowing light at the end. I realized that cave was my pain, and the light was the meaning waiting for me, a symbol of hope, of purpose. You can try this too. Keep a notebook by your bed and write down your dreams each morning. Look for symbols, a light, a path, a guide, and ask yourself what they might mean. Jung would say, this is your unconscious guiding you, helping you find the meaning in your suffering. If dreams aren't vivid for you, try sitting in silence for a few minutes each day, asking, what does my pain want me to learn? And listening to the quiet voice within. Another powerful practice is to find meaning through reflection, which Jung saw as a key to individuation, becoming your truest self. This means asking, what is this pain teaching me about myself? I remember sitting in that park one evening, reflecting on my losses. I realized that my pain had taught me resilience, that it had shown me how to love more deeply, how to value the time I have with the people I care about. That realization felt like a gift, a new lens to see life through. You can do this too. Take a moment to reflect on your pain. Ask, what have I learned from this? Or, how has this made me stronger? Jung believed that finding meaning in suffering connects us to something greater, a purpose that transcends our circumstances. It's like Neo in the Matrix, discovering his true power by facing the challenges that once held him back. These steps, facing your shadow, listening to your unconscious, and reflecting on meaning, aren't always easy, but they're doable. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just take one step at a time, and you'll be amazed at how much you can grow. Jung believed that every choice to embrace your pain is a step toward finding meaning, a step toward becoming your truest self. So, what's one step you can take today? Maybe it's journaling about your shadow, writing down a dream, or reflecting on what your pain has taught you. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let's share this journey together. We've walked a deeply meaningful path together, exploring how to find meaning in life's darkest moments through Carl Jung's wisdom. We began by acknowledging the overwhelming pain that so many of us face. Those moments where the darkness feels like it will never lift, where life seems to lose all purpose. That suffering, as Jung taught us, isn't just a burden. It's a call from your unconscious, a signal to face your shadow and uncover the parts of yourself you've hidden away. We've seen how those buried emotions, when left unaddressed, can keep us trapped in despair, unable to see the light beyond the storm. Through Jung's teachings, we discovered the profound benefits of embracing this pain. By facing your shadow, you can find a freedom that leads to meaning, a clarity that comes from integrating all parts of yourself. This journey of individuation, as Jung called it, helps you become your truest self, connected to a deeper sense of purpose and spiritual awakening. And as you find that meaning, you might notice the universe supporting you in beautiful ways, bringing you new connections, opportunities, and a peace you thought you'd lost. I've felt this in my own life, and I know you can too. Your darkest moments, when you lean into them, can become a source of light, illuminating a path you never knew was there. We also explored practical steps to make this journey real. Facing your shadow by journaling your deepest emotions, listening to your unconscious through dreams and intuition, and reflecting on the meaning your pain holds. These steps, though challenging, are powerful. I've seen how they've changed my life, helping me move from a place of grief to a place of gratitude. Jung believed that this journey is lifelong, a process of becoming more and more yourself with each step. It's like Santiago in The Alchemist, who discovered that the treasure he sought was within him all along. Your darkest moments, though heavy, can be the beginning of that journey, a chance to find the treasure of your own meaning. Now, I want to invite you to take this journey further. Start with one of the steps we talked about. Maybe it's journaling about your shadow, writing down a dream, or reflecting on what your pain has taught you. Try it for the next 30 days and see how it feels. You might be surprised at the difference it makes. If you want to go deeper, I recommend Jung's Man and His Symbols. It's a beautiful exploration of the unconscious, and there's a link in the description to help you find it. You can also join our online community, where people just like you are sharing their journeys of finding meaning. There's a link for that too. This isn't a journey you have to take alone. I'd love to hear how you're finding meaning in your darkest moments. What's one lesson your pain has taught you? Share your story in the comments below, because your words might inspire someone else to take that brave step. We're in this together, building a community of people who are choosing to grow, to find meaning, to live with purpose. Thank you for being here with me today. You're not just a viewer, you're part of something bigger, a movement toward light and understanding. As you move forward, remember this: your pain is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. You are stronger than you know, capable of finding meaning in ways you can't yet imagine. Jung believed that the greatest journey is the one within, and your darkest moments can be the start of that adventure. You deserve to live a life of purpose, of connection, of light. So take that first step today, and let's keep walking this path together. I'll see you in the comments, and I can't wait to hear how you're finding